So I'm starting with my base. I just have my usual perimeter braid with some braids going straight back, my little bow wow base, that's what I like to call it. I also have a part because I'm going to do a side part install. So I have my natural hair parted and I'm just going to moisturize my scalp, oil it up before I put my wig on. And I also have a little leave out in the front just for a more natural look. And I'm just going to take these braids and braid them together and then take a bobby pin and pin it down. Nothing special. This is how I do with most of my units. And this is a unit that I made using Eurasian Bodywave 3.5 bundles, and I also have a lace closure as well. All the information about the hair will be down below. So I'm going to start by cutting the lace off, and then I'm going to apply it on my head and make sure my parts line up. And I made this wig really well. Like, the fit was perfect. If I wanted to, I could have just wore it without sewing it down, but I personally like to sew my units down because I wear them for weeks at a time. Just getting everything right before I sew it down. Make sure I like how it's positioned. And so I'm going to start. I'm using silk thread, and I personally like to sew not directly on the edge of the lace. I like to sew a little further back just because I like for my lace to lay on my scalp and not on top of the braid. I feel like if you sew at the edge of the braid, the lace lays more on the braid and you kind of have that hump and it's not a smooth transition. So I sew a little further behind the lace. And so yeah, I'm just sewing um, my closure part of the unit down first. And I'm probably going to sew until I get to about my ear. And then I'm going to take a new thread and start on the other side of my part. And so now I'm going to start on the other side, and I like to start a new thread because I like to do the tension method just to make sure that my lace part, um, the lace closure is laid down flat. So yeah, I do the tension method. So I start on one side and start sewing, and then I move to the other side and start sewing. And after I sew down to about my ear on this side, I'm just going to sew along the rest of the unit and make sure that it's sewn down all around my head. And this is what it looks like once the unit is sewn all the way down. I do bleach my knots on my closure for a more natural appearance. So yeah, that's how it looks. So now I'm going to start styling this unit. I prefer to style my units once they're sewn down and not before. So I'm going to take out my leave out and get my hairline and part kind of pre-situated. So I'm going to go in later and perfect it. And I'm going to start by doing some light layering on the hair. The longest bundle was 20 inches, but I didn't like the way the ends were looking, so I went ahead and just chopped them off, as you can see. And I kind of like to do a little blunt cut because I feel like it gives a fuller appearance to the hair when you do it blunt instead of staggered. Um, Totally a preference. If that's not what you're into, you don't have to do it like that. And then I'm just going to do some light framing around the front of my head. This is Bodywave hair. But like most body wave hair, by the time you wash it and all that kind of stuff, the wave just kind of falls flat. So I'm just going to go in and flat iron the hair first. The hair flat irons very nicely, actually. Gets very straight, as you guys can see. So yeah, I'm just going in and flat iron it, and then I'm just going to curl it. And to curl my hair, I'm just going to be using this Conair curling iron, and this is a 1 1/4 inch barrel. I prefer larger barrels over the smaller ones. I feel like it just gives the hair nice body. It doesn't have like a super spiral curl, but once the hair is complete, it just adds a lot of body to the hair. So yeah, I'm just going to straighten and flat iron, I'm going to straighten and curl the rest of my head like so. And now I'm at the top of my head. I did the same thing for the whole head, straightened and curled. And I'm curling away from my face. So I'm curling going backwards. And now I'm just going to perfect my layers and get this closure laid perfectly. And that's pretty much it. So first I'm going to perfect my part. I didn't like it just going straight, so I'm going to go for more of a curled, not curled, but curved, kind of like a C part almost. Not too dramatic, but a little C sharp, a C part. Keep getting tongue tied. And then I'm going to take a powder, face powder, close to my skin tone, and I'm going to apply it onto the lace as well as to my natural scalp, that little bit that's left out in the front. And then I'm going to take my flat irons and just flat iron the little bit of my leave out into the weave hair, just so it kind of transitions smoothly. And then I'm going to take some Hicks edge control and fleek these baby hairs and fleek these edges out. And I do relax my edges, if anyone's wondering. That's why it's so straight. Yeah, and I have a fresh relaxer here because I hadn't had a relaxer in probably like 2 months, and my edges needed it, especially with this straight hair. So yeah. And I am the layer queen. Like, I try to do long layers, but I never keep it. So here I'm just going in and doing shorter layers. I just feel like the shorter layers look better on my face. And I like to curl my hair first because it's easier to see where I want my layers to fall once my hair is curled. So yeah, the hair looks fine here. I could definitely go like this, but I like to get scissor happy and get to work. So that's what I'm doing here. Just perfecting it and getting it to, you know, a nice look that I prefer, but you can definitely go from where it was before. But yeah, just adding layers. I feel like layers add a lot of body to the hair, and I love body in my straight hair, so just cutting. And after I recorded this video, later that night, I actually went and cut more. So I do have more of a side bang now instead of like a heavy swoop bang. Not a side bang, but like I have more of a swoop bang instead of a heavy side part bang. I cannot talk right today, but yeah, y'all get what I'm saying. I'm just cutting and layering and getting the hair to fall in a way that I like it. So this is the final look. I hope you all enjoyed the video. As you can see, it looks like the hair is coming out of my scalp. So stay tuned for a review on this hair, and I will see you all next video. Bye!